always know where I'm headed, but I always find a way to keep going. Roll with me.
Peace and good morning. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Olivia, and today I want to talk about something that I've been low-key reflecting on a lot lately, especially over this weekend, and that is trusting your gut, knowing who you are, and being okay with changing your mind. As kids, we're often told to trust our instincts, and it seems so natural, right? But as we get older, especially as adults, trusting our gut doesn't always come so easily. And over the past few years, I've had moments where I've doubted myself and my intuition, like legit questioned myself easily. And I remember when I was younger, in my opinion, it just felt so easy to just feel what was right or wrong and act on it. But I think as life got more complicated, I found myself questioning my gut more than I'd like to admit. And it has honestly been a journey to relearn how to trust that voice inside of me. Right? So when I was younger, I could always feel when something was off or when I was on the right path. And I don't recall questioning it much. It just felt easy to follow my instincts. But life has seemed to be life has gotten more complex. And I'm not saying it's anybody's fault. It's just life be lifing. And, there were more opinions to consider, more responsibilities. And with that, I know I started second guessing myself more often. And I doubted my gut for years, especially when it came to big decisions. Was I making the right choice? Was I being too emotional? Was I being too irrational? And I was the queen of talking myself out of trusting my gut, my intuition, thinking it was just a feeling or that I needed to be more practical, more logical, more realistic. And the more I ignored that inner voice, the more I felt disconnected from myself. But here's the thing I'm realizing. When I stop listening to my gut, I feel more lost. My life feels off balance. And I'm not as happy with the choices I make. And I need to get back to trusting that inner knowing the same way I used to when I was younger. Trusting your gut is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. And I had to remind myself that my intuition knows me better than anyone else. It knows what feels right, what feels true to me, and what doesn't. And I'm quickly learning that trusting your gut isn't about making every decision perfectly, but it's about connecting to your authentic self and making choices that align with who you truly are. And I'm also learning that when you start trusting your gut again, you start trusting yourself. You stop second guessing every damn decision. You feel more grounded, you feel more confident, and you feel more at peace with the choices you make. And knowing who you are is a huge part of trusting your gut. Because when you're in tune with your values, your passions, and your true self, it becomes easier to make decisions that align with who you are. But it's not always a clear path. And sometimes we get distracted by what others think, by expectations, or by the pressure to be someone we are not. I can't lie. And I don't even know if this is a Gemini thing, or just a life thing. Before I had children, I knew who I was and what I stood for. And somewhere along the way, I lost sight of it. And I told myself that I had to be someone else. I had to do different. And even though it feels like it has taken me a long time to fully embrace who I am and what I stand for, and that I need to stop worrying about how others might perceive me, that's when I know that that's when the journey to reconnecting with myself begins. I know that taking those steps, I will fully trust myself again, because I know who I am at my core. And then there's this. You got to be okay with changing your mind. That part. Because I know I've been in situations where I made a decision, and then after a while I realized it wasn't right for me anymore. And instead of feeling guilty or ashamed, I had to learn that it's okay to change your mind. It doesn't mean you're weak or indecisive. It just means you're growing. I've had moments where I made a decision based on where I was in my life at that time. And later I realized that my priorities or desires had shifted. And you know what? It's perfectly fine to change course. Life is about growth. And sometimes we need to make different choices to stay true to ourselves. Changing your mind is part of honoring your evolution. And it's a healthy sign that you're open to new possibilities. For example, a while ago, I was in a situation where I thought I had everything figured out. I made a decision to move forward with something. And after some time, I realized it wasn't serving me anymore. At first, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I felt a little scared about changing my mind. I thought I might be letting people down, or that I had to stick with it because I had already committed and invested so much time and energy into it. But once I gave myself permission to change my mind, I had to have a tough conversation, communicate with the other party involved, and it ended up being a mutual decision. And I can personally say I felt a huge weight lift off my shoulders, because it really felt good to trust myself and make a decision that was best for me. And I ain't gonna lie, a part of me was upset because I didn't have the conversation a long time ago, but it is what it is. I couldn't go back and change it. So here's what I want you to take away today. Trust your gut. Know who you are at your core, and give yourself the freedom to change your mind when needed. Life is fluid, and so are we. You do not have to stick to the path you thought you'd take forever. Trust yourself to make the best choices for who you are now and not who you were yesterday. Remember, it's okay to listen to your gut, your intuition. It's okay to change your course. And it's 100% okay to be yourself along the way. Trust yourself, and everything else will fall into place. That's all I have. I'd love to hear from you and hear about how you trust your gut when making decisions. Or have you ever changed your mind about something that ended up being the right choice? Feel free to leave your feedback, questions, comments in the comments below. And if you know someone that needs to hear this, please share. And if you would like to hear more, tune in more, please hit that subscribe button. I love you all. I'm about to go work out because I need to. And I hope you all have an amazing day. Until next time, peace.